You know what? It's funny you say that. When I first started streaming, I thought that it was every 90 minutes I would see it happen. And let me check and see, because I think the last 2 times it's ended, it showed me a video, it said hour and a half. But sometimes it just ends randomly too, so I don't always know if it's an hour and a half. But 90 minutes or an hour, God, I wish I could figure it out. It sucks so bad, it really does, you know? I mean, eventually I'll get the computer and everything so that it's like better, but man, it sucks to be watching it like that. I hate to have it happen to you guys. So anyways, another thing, so long story short, Twitch app, not very good. UPick, could you tell me how many people are actually viewing right now, if you can see that? Because for me it says 0. It said 0 all day. It hasn't been 0 obviously all day, but I was just curious if you could let me know. I'm gonna go and set some stuff up. Thank you. Okay, what the hell? Let's see here. Move this bit around. Okay, okay. There we go. This thing's acting crazy. Hopefully that stays. Doesn't keep turning on me like that. Sorry everybody for this crazy camera shit that's happening here. And UPick, to answer your question, yes, I do have a battery hooked up. I have it charging the whole time, as much as possible. Right now it's charging. I generally try to have it charging. Sometimes it's not, just briefly. And then I try to, I try to get it charged as soon as possible. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, UPick, would you mind telling me if you can see how many viewers are on it right now? It said 0 all day, and I'm just kind of curious to see what what we're actually looking at. It's dropped so many times, it's really annoying, but we've had quite a few people chatting. It's been actually pretty cool, but like I said, it's just, for some reason Twitch app showed me 0 all day. Don't know why. Go. I like that. That's a little bit better setup. That's a little bit better lighting and everything. That's cool. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, U-Pick. Well, to the other viewers in here, sorry that the stream is cutting out. I think it's going to be good for a while now. It just every once in a while kind of randomly goes screwy. So I remember I tried streaming Fallout 4 2 years ago on Twitch, and that shit was like 2 FPS on my Xbox One. Yeah. A lot of people have issues with it, you know. All right. So, first thing is I gotta clear the area off, because to try to like start doing this woodworking stuff and like cutting things and putting stuff, you know, on my sawhorses and everything, when I've got it totally covered and stuff right now, kind of sucks. So I'm just gonna take a few minutes and do that, move the stuff out of the way, and then start bringing some plywood over here, some OSB over here, so I can cut it and then start putting it up there on the wall. That's the part I'm really happy and excited for. But like I said, I gotta get prepped a little bit. So the reason I have all this extra lumber sitting out here is because I had my chop saw set up, which is that saw that basically you just run stuff through it and so I had that thing set up. So what I did is I cut all of my blocking ahead of time. So I was able to cut it to length and then cut the tops off of it so that it would be basically short enough to fit in here without sticking up above the rafters. So now I have all this extra stuff here. It's kind of a pain to do those big steps, but it saves me time later. So that's what I'm moving right now, is this extra blocking that I cut. There we go. Jeez. think the problem with the tripod leg is that too long outside being cold makes it squeak. Yeah, I think, I don't know what it would be that actually does it, the actual, thing, that's the mechanism that's making that happen. But, yeah, for some reason, leaving stuff outside like that, I mean, maybe even if it was hot, it might still be that way, but who knows? Maybe it contract and expand, contract, expand. Anyways, by the way, do you still stream stuff at all, you pick? Go get a little closer in there. Oh, God. It is so messy here, it's just crazy. Yeah? What do you stream? I don't think I've checked out your channel yet. What do you stream, games, or do you stream like other like woodworking type stuff? I used to, for friends and other game related stuff. Okay, cool, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna go grab some plywood now, bring some over here so I can start cutting it and then putting it up here. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, to be able to get some more plywood on. I've already got my air compressor running, so I'll be able to, I'm gonna be using my nail gun to get that stuff in. one of the problems with this plywood is I had it under this, or I have it under this tarp, and with all the rain and all the nasty weather we got, the edges of the tarp froze to the ground. So I'm gonna have to take this and take my hammer and basically go smack the edges of it, see if I can get it loosened up a little bit. I may just have to rip the tarp just so I can get the plywood out. It kind of sucks. One of the things of like winter building, you know. So actually, I shouldn't, the hammer was a bad idea. I started doing that, and that was actually ripping the tarp more than just pulling the whole thing up. So I just really gave it a good tug, and it basically, it all came up and the ice came off. Now I didn't rip the tarp, so we're all good. I want to make elevations for this tripod to be as tall as me. So I'm gonna cut wooden blocks and put some rubber underneath them. Cool. Yeah, go for it. Hell yeah. Excuse me. All right. So here we go. I think we're good now. So I can start grabbing this plywood, cutting it, putting it up there. To cut it, I'm going to use the circular saw. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. But I really got to take some measurements first. So. So what I'm gonna do is basically, I'm gonna rip this stuff down. I'm gonna take a measurement from what it is from the top of that blocking, which is where this plywood's gonna tie in, to the where the other plywood starts. And in this case, it's it looks like it's going to be 20 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go check on the other side just to make sure that it's staying the same across all the sides. Or excuse me, across the whole length of this side. And then what I want to do is basically, I'm going to rip this plywood so that it's all at that 21 or 20 1/4 inches. And then I'll know that I already have it at that pre-cut length, and then I'll be able to notch out where I need for the rafters. And after that, cutting the rest of it, I'm gonna do all once I, oh, a little bit of wind coming through here. I'm gonna do the rest of it, like cutting out for the section where it covers the windows. I'm gonna do that once it's already on there. Let me go and measure that other side real quick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Thanks for sticking in here with the connection issues and stuff. That was sticking up. It's not good. I really should be more careful about those like that. So, let's see, what's with that noise in the background? Well, it was either me humming along to some song that I'm listening to, or if it was that loud clang, I basically threw a 2x8 on top of a pile of metal. So what I looked at here is I measured that distance, and again, it's like 20 1/4 inches. So 20 inches and plus 1/4. I'm actually gonna cut it at 20 because I don't want it to be like fighting when I have to go put that sheathing on top there. I don't want this little burr sticking up that I'm gonna have to deal with all along the whole thing. I wanna make sure it's good. I wanna make sure it's gonna fit on there easy. I don't have to screw with it. So I'm just gonna cut it to 20 inches. I don't need that extra 1/4 inch there. It's not important. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll start cutting some pieces at 20 inches, and then I'll start. Actually, I'm not going to need that many, honestly, because this is. I'll do the full 8-foot length. That's probably the way to go with this. Yeah, so I'll make them 8 feet, and so you know if I have I can get 2 of those out of one board, and this is a 30-foot wall, so I'm gonna do you know 4 times 8, 32, so 4. So all I need is actually 2 pieces. Yeah, so 2 pieces of plywood for all this. That's not bad. Or OSB, that's what I'm using, technically OSB. Let me go ahead and grab the other one, and then I'll get to cutting, so you can not have to wait for me to screw around with this stuff anymore. All right. All right, just got the second one kind of off camera there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. Actually, I'll cut them both to 20 inches. I can do it all in one. So this is where I'm going to use my string line. So I'm going to measure 20 inches from one side, and then use this, or it's like a chalk line really. So it's basically what you do. And by the way, for those of you who are just kind of tuning in, actually people who were watching previously too, if you haven't seen this, trying to design the elevations for the tripod, let me know what you end up doing with that. I have a tripod that I try to use for some other stuff that I got to fool with some too. So anyways, so I have a list of some of the tools that I most commonly use down in the like in the info section on my video page. So if you scroll down, you'll see it. I have a section that's titled tools, and then I have an actual, it's like an extension. The extension isn't that good, but you can at least see what they all look like. There's one link, and that's all. It just takes you to Amazon. It puts all of them in your basket. It's like $2,000. So just that part of it kind of sucks. Sorry about that. But you could at least go there and see the string line that I'm talking about. I think I actually have the same one on there. But point is, so basically what you do is once you measure your distance, you latch this onto one side of the plywood, this little piece here, you pull it tight, and then you actually just snap it. You pull your fingers up and snap it, and it puts a red line on the thing for you. You know it's a straight line, perfectly straight, and then you can use that to cut along. So, or nail along or whatever. In this case, I'm just cutting. So. So 20 inches is what I'm going for. there's a guy who I just watched for the first time today. I don't remember his name. I think it's David. But the channel's like David and a Boat. If you check my people I'm following, you can see it. But it's pretty cool. The guy's doing a lot of woodworking stuff too, and he does it. I assume that he takes his camera out on the boat. I saw some pictures on his channel of looked like he was taking a camera out on the boat and like maybe even streaming like that. But he was at least building a boat, which is pretty cool. And he had this he made this this kind of jig that you can use as like a rip fence, but it'll like you can set how far away you're cutting. It's really nice. So instead of using like a line like this, you could just set it 20 inches and then just take it down there and cut. Really cool. This is the saw I'm going to be using here. Hey, if you're selling motivation, I'm buying. Oh boy. I hope you're staying warm. I am. It's actually not that. Looks like I'm cold, but it's actually probably nearly in the 40s right now. It's really not that bad. Good to see you though, Jafer. Yeah, right on. Well, I was basically just explaining this kind of chalk line. So I was using my chalk line here, snapped the line on this, and now I'm going to cut it. So I'm cutting these pieces of plywood to 20 inches, which happens to be the distance between, which is hard to see right now, but like this is probably the best example. This blocking that's sitting between the rafters here, this little piece, so from the top of that down to where this plywood is, that's 20 inches. And technically 20 1/4. I'm cutting it a little bit short so it's easier to work with. So I'm going to cut these pieces to 20 inches so that they'll be able to fit up in there. The next thing I'm going to do then is basically cut out those sections where the rafters are going to sit. And then I'll just be able to hopefully just slide it up in there and nail it in. So how's your day been going, Jafer? UPIC's going to use 3 boards to cut them and 4, so I get 12 in total. Yeah, I'll have to see it. It's kind of hard to if that's one of those things. Fortunately, I'm on camera. I can kind of show you what the hell I'm doing, but I'll have to see what you mean. You might mean like putting them in a circle or a square or something. All right, let me get to cutting here so I can make these pieces. Stuff went where? Good, just got a GoPro 7, so I'm tinkering with that. Oh, okay. I take it that's like a pretty new one. I've checked out your channel once or twice. They made a 7 now. Yeah, I had no clue either, honestly, but it's got to be a nice one. Yeah, you have a pretty good sized channel. That's cool. Jafer, you every time I think when I've watched you, you were just playing games, and I don't really play any games right now, so for me it's just kind of like casual stopping in, checking to see what's going on. Do you do other stuff too? Let me go ahead and I'll cut here. Cut this stuff. 7 now, man. Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes in the cold it gets a little bit, the battery gets a little bit bad. It doesn't work that well. As another frequent commenter, Cyril J, told me, at least I assume that is the reason. So let me go ahead and I'll see if it works. Hopefully it's working all right here. Not a big deal. Every time I tune in, oh, okay, hold on a second. Let me, hold up. GoPro came out in September or October. Okay, cool. Just gaming right now. I want to do IRL streams when I start working out. Nice. Yeah, that'd be good, man. Doing some working out streams. I thought about doing that, but tell me, maybe it's even explicitly in the terms of service, but I was kind of like hesitant to. I thought that'd be fun. Once I get back into doing some lifting and stuff, I kind of got my like I think it's called like golfer elbow or something, but the tendons, right, the elbow kind of not feeling so good right now. But there's always other people in there whenever I'm lifting, so, or like working out or whatever. So I feel like that would be, I don't know, maybe not that good, but it would be fun though. It'd be fun as hell to do. I just don't know if it was one of those things where you'd like, it's like, man, do I want to do it with other people around? I don't know, maybe you've got, every time I've seen people doing working out streams, there always seem to be in some kind of like empty room basically with like nobody else in there. Anyways, UPick says, I'm going to nail these all together as gluing will take too long. Get a heater and extension cord, aim at you and tripod. There you go. Yeah, assuming it's where you're working is kind of cold or something. UPick, are you, do you got, so you're doing all this. This is all at home. I'm assuming given the time of day, it's got to be. I know you said you work on some stuff at school too. Jafer, each time I tune in, I'm in awe of this man is just hammering away at his own home. Mad respect. Oh, thank you, Jafer. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get it done as soon as I can. You know, not rushing by any means. I still work pretty slow, but yeah, trying to get this thing dried in. That would be the term when I have like all the plywood sheathing on and stuff. And then it'll be a lot easier to work inside where everything's not getting freaking wet all the time, not getting all messy. So, Jafer says, I watched other streams. They do try to limit the background of strangers, but the manager of the gym is okay with it, then it's fine. Yeah, Jafer, you're right about that. Yeah, as far as IRL in public, yeah. In fact, that's, you know, man, it'd be cool as hell. I wish I was living in somewhere like, had one of those, you know, it'd be fun, one of those like, you see those outdoor like playgrounds that you always see these guys in like New York, or especially all these like Russians and Ukrainians doing this crazy shit on these outdoor gyms. That's so cool. That would be fun. Like LA, it's almost like a playground basically, but they're doing that like a bar, you know, the bar, what do they call it? I don't know, man, bar something, but it's so cool. Don't worry about text to speech. Just if you don't have it allowed, then good. Oh, okay. Yeah, you pick your saying. So if you're in a gym and you have other people there, you don't want to have this text to speech going. Yeah, probably right. Like on Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was thinking of that one in California, like Muscle Beach, but I guess Huntington Beach would be something like that. So no. All right, well, let me go and cut this other one here. Huh. So Jafer, can you lift a lot? 'Cause I was thinking like the workout streams that I've seen so far have been like if it was a guy who's like doing some good shit, I'd be like, all right, that's pretty cool, like really like lifting quite a bit. But the only ones that I've seen so far that seem to have attracted quite a bit of attention were, you know, some basically like hot girls just streaming themselves at the gym. It's like, all right, you know, I see what's going on, but I mean, if you could put up some massive weight, the guy or girl, like I'd watch. I think that's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool to see someone doing that live and like asking questions and stuff. You pick weight, I'm dumb. Okay, let's see. Wonder what your, maybe you did something messed up. Oh no, trying to focus on cardio and legs. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, that's cool. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though. Like, it's funny because I'm coming at it from this perspective of like I like I'm like the nerdy stuff, you know. So basically, I like seeing, you know, all the crafting channels, like stuff where it's just like, you know, if someone's lifting like a lot of weight, I'm like, hell yeah, that's cool as hell. But the fact is, you've already got like a pretty good sized channel, so I imagine like if you got people who are like, hey, I'm gonna tune into whatever Jafer's doing, they'll be on board with that. So that's cool as hell. Twitch is full of pervy dudes. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's like it's a lot of, you know, I mean, I feel like it's a lot of young kids who are otherwise just gaming, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, here you go. But I can't blame them. I'm not gonna call them out, you know. All right, here we go. Let me cut this one. This is gonna be 20 inches. Then I'm gonna go ahead and measure where those rafters are, and then cut those spots out. Oh, I already measured that. Alrighty. Either young kids, 19-year-olds, or pervy dudes. Fair enough. All watching girl streamers are messing with TTS. Yep. I can't talk too much shit. I know I follow one of those, you know, like a thirst stream, but but it's just one of those things. It's like, it's funny. There's a few recommendations when you first like get onto Twitch, and it's just like, okay, let's see what's going on here. TTS, that seems kind of interesting. I don't know if there's really a good. I mean, it's like, what would someone really be doing with it other than just hoping to get trolls? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of funny. Don't get me wrong. I can see it being kind of funny, but I'm like, I don't know if TTS would ever be really a good, like, positive thing, constructive thing, I should say. You know. All right, let me cut this. So, M-Slave, good for making money. That's about it. There you go. Yeah. Not opposed to making money, but yeah, it'd be... Well, TTS wouldn't really work in an IRL stream anyways, but anyways, good to see M-Slave. So, something that, to you guys watching, this is something that happens here, and it kind of sucks, is like, once you get to a point when you're about to finish a cut on two boards, it pinches a lot of times. So in this case, this thing is pinching, so it's kind of like this piece of plywood is kind of falling back here, and it's putting a lot of pressure on there so that it actually makes it harder to cut. So you'll see when I get to the end there, I'm trying to kind of prop it up and do it so I can hold it. That'll make it a lot easier to cut the thing. So I'm just, it just kind of happens, so you'll see that happen. Sometimes it actually bites that saw so hard that it'll shoot it back, you know? When I was cutting the two boards the first time, I had it kind of propped up in such a way where it didn't pinch it, but a lot of times when you're cutting something like this, it's gonna pinch it and it's gonna make it like hard to finish the cut like cleanly. I mean, this is about to basically fall off, so it's whatever, but you know. So what I did, you can see it there, I just basically propped it up. I turned that thing a little bit, propped it up. That made it easier to cut. All right. Weird noise in the distance there. So you pick. Sounds like you got it going. It's good. You gotta post a like a picture, like put it on Imager or something, and just put a link in here. Oh, is anybody watching the UFC fight tonight? I don't remember where it is, but it's T.J. Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo. It's like it's a super fight. T.J. Dillashaw is going down in weight. I don't know if you guys have any interest in that stuff, but I thought by chance. Sometimes, last time I think somebody was watching it, all watching the UFC fight, but I'm not going to be watching it. Sometimes I'll listen to it, or I'll watch it later, but I don't think I'm going to watch it tonight. I'll probably be, well, it depends on what time it comes on. What in the fuck was that? It's a crazy sound. An Imager. I have an Imager link. YouTube.com. Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. Let me go see what that was. I heard a crazy sound back here. It sounded like it could have been just cats fighting, but I'm gonna see what it is. I'll be right back. Good God, what is that? Can you hear that? Okay. Yeah, no, it was, that's got to be some kind of a bird. The speed at which it was moving, it sounded really like demonic. That was crazy. At first I thought that was actually sounded like a person screaming. So I heard that like, I thought it was coming from like the neighbor's direction. So I wanted to go see, but I took my headphones out and I could hear it a little bit better. But it sounded like, yeah, like a wounded animal, but then I think it was just some bird or hawk or something. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not worried now. It moved away so fast. Like I said, I think it was a bird of some kind, but wild. Anyways, God, you can still hear it. It just. I tell you what, man, that's a freaky noise. Anyways, okay, so yeah, it is a bird. It's coming this way, but it's just like making a crazy sound. It might pass overhead. Wow. It's making the neighbor's dogs bark. That's for sure. That's like just weird. Anyways, okay, sorry, enough about that. Okay. They have streams on here for all the UFC stuff. Mslave, I've seen some before. I've seen them also get taken down. You know, I mean, YouTube's like that too. It's like they get taken down. But there's loads of illegal streams for UFC events, you know. Lemur. Oh, anyways, UPIC said, sound like a lemur, bring a hammer, don't die. Sounds scary. Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, all right. Anyways, let me get back to it. Oh, man. All right, thanks y'all for watching, by the way. Let me see what time it is. Oh, there we go. All right, about 7 o'clock here, so I'm at work for another hour. I'll say I'll probably work for another hour, then call it quits. I'm hoping I can get these things cut and then put up there in that time. Should be able to. Mslave, how bad was the snowstorm you guys got today? It's Wood Podcast, building a house. Yes, building a house. How's it going, It's Wood Podcast? I'll just call it maybe It's Wood. I don't have to keep saying that. Yeah, building a house, that's right. And right now, I'm actually I cut these pieces of plywood. I'm cutting them at 20 inches, which is the distance between the top of these, the blocking in here and where this plywood ends. So then that's going to go in there. I'm basically going to cut out where those rafters are, put it in there, and then I'll be able to tie it into the blocking, which will make everything really strong, you know. That'll add quite a bit of like extra sort of shear strength and uplift strength on the rafters, which I've already put hurricane clips on the inside, so that's not really, I'm not too concerned. Anyways, I'm assuming you know a little bit about something. If your name is It's Wood Podcast, you do like construction stuff, or do you like finish stuff or carving, or what are you up to? All right, let me go ahead and take a measurement here real quick while I'm doing that. So I have it on here. Fine woodworking, turning boxes, things like that. Cool. I really don't know much about that stuff. When it comes to doing the finish work in here, it's a learning curve. I mean, this is already a learning curve, but that I don't know much about, so I'll have to learn quite a bit. But thanks for tuning in. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out here what I'm going to do as far as the best way for me to like kind of cut these out and set them up there and stuff. How I'm going to do that and try to save me some time, or not waste a bunch of time, rather. know, I think I'm going to keep it simple. I can actually just, the thing is light enough to where I can just hoist it up there and then just measure it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the rafter should be right on at that 2 foot mark, but I'm going to go ahead and just do that. And it'll save me a little bit in case they're off just slightly or whatever. It'll be nice and easy. My show is anything woodworking, tools, lumber companies, yes, even builders. Our motto, if it's wood, we're good. Right on. Cool, cool, cool. Well, fortunately, that's a lot of what I'm doing right now. So, yeah, I'm excited to see you're watching. That's great. You can see you might have some interest in this. I built the plans for this in SketchUp. I have a link down below. You can take a look at the house on there, but I also have, as far as tools and stuff, I'd actually be curious to know if you have a good way. I haven't seen your channel yet. This is the first time me talking to you at all. So I'd be curious if you have a good way of actually showing like the equipment you use and stuff. I have this extension down below that's called Kit. It uses kit.com, but it kind of sucks because the only thing it has is it lets you just, you have one link and it'll basically take you to Amazon and throw everything in your cart. And it's like, right now, for the stuff, even just the stuff I have on there now is like $2,000. It's kind of crazy. So but I want a better way of showing like individual, other than just posting just straight links, which I could do. Maybe I'm just being lazy. I've been a tool tester for 21 years. My God. Oh man, I bet I could ask you some stuff. I'm not going to get too derailed here. Let me go ahead and actually start, just take some measurements, and I'll chat with you some more. But I'm sure you have a lot to, you could share. So that's awesome. Nah, that's not smart. I'm not gonna do that. That's not a smart way to do that. I can depend more on the fact that I have them on those 2 foot centers. I don't have to go up there and actually measure it. I mean, I may have to adjust my notches a little bit, but that's, like I said, the way I was doing it there, not that smart. Okay, so I have one on the outside, which is fine. Then it's basically from the outside we have 2 foot at the 2 foot mark, which the nice thing here is this plywood already has these markings on it, you know, so it has these 2 foot markings on it. So what I can basically do is say, all right, I'm going to take a piece, kind of measure it out there, figure out how much I need to cut. In fact, I'm going to go do that now, measure how far down I need to cut, and then just cut the notches out on these 2 foot markings on the board. Makes it real nice. So let me do that. Let's just make that 10. That's gonna be small. 9 3/4. That's what we're doing. 10. Okay. All right, so I measured like 9.5 inches there. I'm gonna make it 10 so I don't have to screw with it. So I don't have to, you know, kind of fight that thing when I go put it up there. When is the next stream after this? Probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, maybe like 2 or probably more like 3 or 4 actually. I'm gonna be doing stuff in the morning, so. Woo. Got a thing nailed on that one or screwed in so I can actually keep that one stable. It's Wood Podcast. Do you do like live podcasts? Like is your stream basically end up being a podcast? See, I temporarily screwed this thing together on a piece of plywood when I was cutting my blocking. I figured it'd be a lot easier to work with, you know. And it is. It's good. Actually, first I'm going to cut only one, just to make sure everything looks good. Sorry, loud noises. I might just glue the middle blocks together if I don't have long enough screws. I was thinking of buying a box about 8 inches, 4 to 8. Okay. Yeah, it's tough for me to follow exactly what's going on, but yeah, once you post a link, man, once you show me a picture, I'll be happy to see what's going on with that. All right. I really want to get one of those big speed squares. Surprised I haven't got one yet, but I think that'd be a nice tool to have. It's nice, then you can just have it around. You don't have to like pull out the tape measure, you know, for all that stuff. It's like that 10-inch thing I just was measuring there. Gonna post through Imgur, but making a link on Imgur is confusing. Huh. I've done it once before with like an album, you know. All right. He's back. I might have to duck for cover in a second. Good God. I don't know what that is. Get some buckshot. I actually do have a gun not too far away. When I was wondering what that was, and I was like, I don't know if it was some kind of a, I don't know, it's like a mountain lion screaming or something. I mean, I didn't expect one to come up here with like all the lights on and everything, but you never know. What kind of gun do you have? Like a 9mm. I think it's a, I don't remember the brand. I think it's a Smith & Wesson. Probably not good for zombies, not good enough, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see what that thing is whenever it comes to take me away. We'll see what sounds like it's gonna come out of the air and grab me with huge talons and yeah. No telling what'll happen then. I can just make a hidden post on Imgur and share the link for it. Yeah, I should be able to. That's how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna try this first one out. The first one and the last one are gonna be different than the rest because those ones are on the outside. So basically, in the middle of the building, I think they call it now Wood Podcast. If Wood Podcast is still around, then they might know the. Sorry, I'm being interrupted by like a pterodactyl over here. And in the middle of the wall, I think it's called in the field. So the studs are like in the field there, which is like in the middle and not on the outside. And on the edges of the building, it's a little bit different. So in the middle, you have them on 2-foot centers. So you basically have, a stud. You can measure from one part of that stud to the same part on the other stud, either the outside or the inside of the middle. That's going to be 2 foot. Now the ones on the very edge of the building, it's a little bit different. You basically have to imagine that you have that 2-foot spacing, and then you slide it in like half the width of it so that you actually have it sitting over the edge of the building. Whereas in the middle, you're just sitting on top of that 2-foot center. On the outside one, you basically have it on one side of that 2-foot center. So you have to cut it a little bit differently. You have to like mark your framing a little bit. I'm not gonna say differently, but you just have to be aware of it. People who do wood framing and stuff like that, they're very familiar with that, obviously. But it'll mess you up a little bit when you're first getting into this. So, what else was I gonna say? I can't remember right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this thing and do it. So. Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm referencing a 2-foot center. People will also frame on 16-inch centers. So it's just a different style of doing it. I'm framing on 2-foot centers. Some people do it on 16-inch centers. Most people, I think, now have it on 16-inch centers. Just depends where you are. So. Undercut the stuff. Excuse me. So I think the best way, since basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting these 2 long sections in here, and I have this little thing that's holding it on that's, you know, 1.5 inches wide. I think the best way is probably just to cut it and then hammer that piece. Probably easier than trying to cut it out or anything, you know. So, see. I mean, it's not going to be visible in the end. It's going to be, you know, so I don't have to worry about it looking good, I think. Alright. Let's see how this looks now. I'm going to go ahead and set it up there. I think because the spacing was a little bit, not much off, not like enough to be really concerned, but on this side, there was a little bit of stuff that was kind of like I think 1 or 2 of the rafters were going to be like an 1/8, maybe an 1/8 of an inch off or something. So it's not, again, not really a big deal, but for this piece going up there, it might be not totally correct. So when I set it up there, I'm going to take a look, see how it looks, and if I need to cut it a little bit more, I can. It's really not a problem to do that. So. Not totally sure, but I think it'll All right, just wanted to say, everybody, thanks again for watching and chatting, and hope you're having a good Saturday night. All right. I hope the stream has been going good now as far as connection and everything. It's just, yeah, it's just nuts. This Twitch app, I do not like it, you know. Hopefully we get something, you know, well, eventually I'll get it, like I said, set up on a computer. It'll be a lot better. So, yeah, anyways, all right, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue on here for a little bit longer, at least another 30 minutes or so. I'm going to go try to put this thing up here. I'm guessing it's going to need a little adjustment. I'll cut it. Then I'll just go ahead and nail it up there.